Hello and welcome to an alpha preview of the new WARNO build. This is a casted quote-unquote pro-level game between Hippie playing as the 2nd UK Infantry Division, which has received many changes in this patch, and Karma playing as the 79Y Tank Division. So just a bit of housekeeping before we start. If you want your games casted by a pro player, a cool guy such as myself, then please send the Discord messages to the Discord link that you see on your screen in front of you. But please remember that I'm actually a native Afghan, and so you'll have to Google Translate everything you say into Pashtun before sending it to me. So we're going to do the deck reviews and then the deployments. Right, so this is the new deck review for 2nd, and you'll already see that there's a lot of changes in the division from last time. So we'll dive in tab by tab and I'll tell you what's changed, what's better, what's worse, etc. So first things first, the background has changed on the armory. It looks really cool now. I was talking to the guy that makes it. So this is the outdoors, and it feels much more like a war's going on, I guess. I mean, something's like burning over there, and some welding's going on over there. I think it looks really good. You can see somebody's welding something back there. Something's on fire, etc. So, yeah, and then this is the inside, and I'm not playing on max graphics by any means, so it gets better. So yeah, some small electrical fires where the missiles are. I'm sure that's not a problem. Looks like some work's going on back there. And it feels to me like it's more of a war setting. I don't know. I've never been in a war. Anyway, the deck. 2 cards of Bedford Supply, which I talked about last time. Supply is good. And then I also bring a Chinook Supply. So this is 7,500 supply in total in a card, whereas the Bedfords are 5,250. So this is good for supplying your rear stuff. Obviously, you don't want it anywhere near the front line. Your other choice is the Puma supply. So this is 6,000 supply total. Potentially, you could try and replace a transport truck, but you don't want supply helicopters anywhere near the front because the enemy will see them, and then a howitzer shell will land on you. Next, last time I used this and this, and I talked about how I didn't like the truck and this was too slow. Well, we have our solution in the form of the new Saxon CP. So 105 points, slightly more than these, but you get a combination of the armor. It's 1 armor instead of less than 1 armor, which means it takes reduced shots from artillery, reduced damage from artillery. It has higher HP, 8 instead of 4, and it's fast, and it has a machine gun, and it has smoke. So good stuff, right? So I bring 2 of these now, and I'm happy to pay 5 points extra for them. Infantry tab, so a lot is different here. I will first explain the differences down here, and then I'll explain why I'm bringing what I'm bringing. And if there's any awkward pauses, I'll try and edit them out, but it is because I am drinking a cup of tea. So the first thing you'll notice is, well, what the hell is this thing? This is a machine gun on a tripod. Every division gets machine guns on tripods now. HMG teams, MMG teams, whatever you want to call them. And they're basically made to be defensive fire support. So whack them in a building, they've got longer range than your standard MMG because of the nice tripod. And yeah, they defend areas against infantry, whereas an ATGM would defend areas against vehicles, and an SPG is sort of a mix between the two, right? But we'll get to this. So this is different. And the other glaring difference here is that Terriers are good now. So before Terriers were 50 points, Terriers are the TA, they're the militia of the British Army, but they're not really militia. The British Reserve Forces are better trained than most people's regular forces. That's just how the British Army works. So that's why they're normal trained instead of poorly trained. And they used to be 50 points 9 availability, from what I remember. They are now 40 points 12 availability. So we've got our Terrier spam. from Wargame. And these are a good unit now, I bring them. Other things that have changed, the Wombat that we spoke about before, the ammo on all SPGs has been just under doubled. It's gone from 8 to 15. So that's fantastic, because you really couldn't bring this before. I still struggle to find a role for this given its low accuracy, but the high HE and high pen and high ammo make it quite good. It can go in buildings. What else is different here? I think that's everything. Unless I missed something. So I'll talk about what I'm bringing now. Card of Terrier Leaders, 4 availability compared to 3 for some of the other ones. So a good mix between strength and availability. SAS are 10 points cheaper now. And the reason for that, so they were 100 points before, which is a lot, but they lose to any infantry with a machine gun because they can't really engage at that distance. So these are definitely worth bringing now, although you should have been bringing them anyway. Then I bring 2 cards of air mobiles, and I bring one in the links. Now, last time I said bringing things in links in 1v1s is a total waste of time and a bit stupid. I've since had my mind changed by a friend of mine who's been experimenting with this a lot, and he's found that selectively you can really use these to be a cancerous piece of shit. So I suggest trying them out and see what you can make of it, and in the game I cast, you will see this. Then I bring some air mobiles in Saxons. We've already spoken about air mobiles, they're quite expensive for what they are, but the Lore 80 is really good. A 10% accuracy nerf on the Lore 80, by the way. So there's been a 10% accuracy nerf on all of the 850 meter rocket launchers, just because generally it's really obnoxious. They're kind of OP, so this is basically 2 hits as opposed to 3 hits. Out of a total of 4 rounds fired at 850 meters on a stationary target. So yeah, I bring these guys for killing stuff with the Law 80 basically, and they're tanky enough to survive. Saxons also get smoke now. They have their smoke, so that makes them even better. Next, army rifles. I bring them in the Warrior Milan. So the unit hasn't changed, but the IFVs have changed. IFVs are better now. They are stronger at killing infantry in open fields, basically, because the autocannons are a bit better, and they're better at killing each other as well. Against thin-skinned vehicles, this is quite potent. And you'll see that in the game. So why do I bring them in the Milan? Well, this division suffers from a lack of medium tanks, and so I substitute the medium tanks with ATGMs all over the place. I think that's the only way to do it, and so that's why I bring the Milan and not the regular. Terrier AT group, we already spoke about this. This is just a cheap snipey unit for infiltration, backline action, sniping, respawn roads, generally trying to be as unpleasant as possible. Terrier Pioneers versus regular Pioneers. So Terrier Pioneers are better for throwing satchels, right? Assault Pioneers are better at killing people in a regular manner, but for Terriers, I want to throw satchels. So it's good that they're 10 points cheaper, and it's good that they have 1 more strength, because I want to throw satchels. The disadvantage is 3 less availability. So it's up to you if you can take that decrease in availability. Terriers, spoke about this. Terriers are good now. You can bring a lot of cards of Terriers. You can get some serious TA spam on the go. I think that's fantastic. And a Milan too. I brought it in a Rover for the game. That was a mistake. Should have brought it in a Saxon, because Saxons get smoke now, and they are good. And there's something about the overkill on these 1-armor vehicles that if you die to something that only just killed you, chances are the crew will survive. Probably not a 2-man crew though, but there you go. Artillery, so card of mortars. I use the mortars for smoke. If you want to use them to kill people, bring the higher caliber ones. But I use them for smoking, so it's good that they have 6 of them. They've gone up in price by 5 points. 15 was too low, really, let's be honest. I wasn't happy about it, but it's perfectly reasonable. And then I bring 2 cards of the big boy howitzer thing, so salvo length of 6 means that you don't really need to use 2 on 1 target unless you're concerned that the enemy will immediately move. Just something to consider. These are still a bit kind of crap, just because the aim time is the same as this, right? So, you know. Here, I don't think much has changed. I think there was a new camo on the Rover Milan, or it might have been the Rover Milan Para in the other division, but I've been told there's a new camo somewhere. I mean, it certainly looks extremely cool. The model's really good, actually. Anyway, challenges. Bring both cards of challenges, and so the way this division is designed is that you've got no good mediums, or you've got no mediums. You've just got heavy tanks and light tanks, quote unquote light tanks. They're obsolete tanks, really. So you bring them down vetted, so you get 6. I guess you could bring them up vetted, but I don't do that. And then Iltis Milan. So you get 12 on veteran. I still think these are way too cheap for what they are. So maybe it's better to bring 12 than 8, because you lose 4 and you get 5% extra accuracy. And I did actually run out of these because I was spamming them so much because they're so good for what they are. So maybe it's better to get 12. Anyway, the comparison you're making is between the 45 pointer, which is much more reasonably priced, actually, but it's obviously just not as good, right? You get 9, and the pen is better, but well, you could just bring 2 Iltis Milans for less than the price of one of these, so why wouldn't you just bring 2 of these? You do get 2 less. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Oh, I see, because it's a different vehicle. So yeah, the Iltis is very slightly faster than the Rover. And the stealth is better on the Iltis than it is on the Rover. What? Is that supposed to be like that? Anyway. Mobile Scouts, these haven't really changed at all. Good against people. Rubbish against vehicles. Bring them in the Saxon. Gazelles, these have 2 more availability now. They used to have 4. Unlike every single other division with very good helicopters had 6. So they now have 6, but they're 1 veterancy lower. So you can still bring 4 at 2 vet, but there's no reason to do that. Foxes, I prefer the Scimitar. Foxes are funny though, they're fast, stealth is good. If you can get them behind a line, you can kill transports all day and then you can just drive off. You'll see that in the game. And Jaeger Aufklärer for combat recon, 11 strength. So they can be at the front of the push or near the front of the push, providing good optic information, and they will survive 11 tank shells. Apologies, I just got a text message, I'm very popular. Right. Okay, lots have changed here. First the bad news. The bad news is the Rapier has lost its fire and forget. If the person responsible for this is watching this video, you know who you are. I will have my revenge. So no more does this thing just spam out 8 missiles in a couple seconds. It only fires 1 at once. So once 1 missile misses or hits, it will fire another one. So it's very sad. Price has come down 10 points to compensate. We'll see if that's enough. It's very sad. But other things have happened. Well, we'll start with some more bad news. Javelins. So javelins are also now not fire and forget, which is very sad. It's manual guidance as well, just like it was in real life. But the accuracy is a lot higher now. The accuracy is 60% because, well, they were accurate. Apparently, flares didn't fool it because it was manually guided. I mean, that's just what I saw on the internet. I don't know if it's true, so that's cool. Losing the fire and forget is sad because it means that you know, when they fly behind a building or something, you're gonna have a bad time. But I haven't really noticed too much of a performance impact from this yet. But I have noticed the increase in accuracy. That's fantastic. Then, we now have 2 types of rapiers, just like there were in real life. So the regular rapier is manually guided now, and it comes with pretty high availability, 6.4. I can't remember what it was before. I can't really remember what the price was before. I think it was 90 for the whole package, right? Now it's 85. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, it's manually guided, which is sad. And you got to keep the truck with it, otherwise it'll get blown up by a howitzer. So it does cost 85 because you're not selling the transport. Then you have the Rapier FSA. Don't know what FSA stands for, but basically this one is radar. So it's vulnerable to seed, but it's radar. So that's fantastic, right? It shoots further, and this fills a key performance issue with second UK, which is that you're trying to protect these challengers, but you have no long range AA, and so they just die. Whereas now you do have long range AA. So the FSA doesn't come tracked, oh well, you know, and you can bring 3 or 2, so I sacrifice 1 to bring 2. Maybe you want to bring 3. And finally, Britain has a long-range anti-aircraft option. This hasn't changed. I bring one card of good tows and one card of the rockets. These are really good to bring these. Air. So I complained a lot about this last time, not being good enough. Now it is better. So the price has come down 30 points. It was 215 before, right? Yeah, so it's come down 30 points. The air optics have gone from normal to good for availability. It's still very, very lackluster, but it is no longer horrendous. Is my own personal thoughts on the matter. I brought two cards of Cluster Jaguars. The reason why I did this is because I knew I was against 79th on Vertigo. If you're not against 79th on Vertigo, you might want to swap one of these out for a HE bomber. But honestly, the nose guns will kill a single infantry unit. So it depends on your playstyle. Do you like HE bombers? I bring a Harrier HE bomber for backline stuff. So if there's something on the backline, I kill it with this. It's also good at killing helicopters because it's slow and it has a good gun. 2 times 30mm, so it goes very slowly towards the enemy shooting the gun, and it'll fire what are these, sidewinders or something, aims. Right, so here's Karma's deck for the game. This is more of a deck observation than a deck review because Karma is better than me, and he's better than you as well. So we'll see what's going on here. So he brings 2 of these trucks. These are like the Saxon PC except no gun, so 5 points cheaper. Speed's a little bit lower, so he brings 2 CV BRDMs. A card of Armoured Supply for a total of 5,000 supply in a card, and a card of Wheeled Supply for speed, 5,000 supply per card. So that, you know, this is your trade-off here. Do you want something armoured but slow, or do you want something a bit more expensive, bit more capacity but fast? So you get the choice, right? You can bring 2 of these if you want. I mean, Karma's obviously done what I believe to be the right thing, because I copy him. And that's have 1 of each, so you can bring whatever you want depending on the situation. Oh yeah, I should mention, helicopter CVs have come down in price by 20 points. So that now makes them a slightly more attractive option. I mean, still to availability, not great, but they have more of a point to them now, because before there was absolutely no reason to bring a helicopter CV. It's easily spotted and it dies fast because it's on the ground. Infantry tab. So as you see, the Russians get their own tripoded MMGs, and they get a couple more choices as well. So they can actually pay a bit more for the AGS 17 as a team. So this is way better than the PKM. I bring the AGS 17. On maps like Vertigo, it's kind of hard because, you know, if you're attacking, then this is useless, right? But if you're defending, it's fantastic. I would bring the AGS 17. Try it out. It's very cool. Sadly, gets half the availability. So maybe that's why he brought the other one. And then 2 cards of Motor Stroke in the BMP2. IFVs are much better now. BMP2 is better than Warrior Milan, I think. I think the autocanon's better. Don't actually know. The armor's better. I think that's reasonable. I don't think that's a problem. Certain nations, in my eyes, should have more cost-efficient equipment than other nations, and I think PAC should have more cost-efficient equipment than NATO. Yeah. So 2 cards of that. Gaz Motor Strelkies. So this is interesting. So obviously you want wheeled infantry, wheeled regular infantry, so you can get there fast, but I'm surprised he took them in the Gaz over the BTR-80. So you save... So for 10 points extra, you get a KPVT, which is amazing. You get speed. Yeah, you even get 8 kilometers now more on the road. You get armor. BTR-80 is very, very cool. I would bring this. Motostrelki Metis, so Motostrelki Metis are good. You should be bringing a card of them because the Metis in a building is good. it's like a slightly shorter range ATGM, and they are also fighting infantry squad. The choice is between the BMP 1G and the BMP 1P. For the same price, you can have a grenade launcher instead of an MMG. So that's not much of a choice. Bring the 1G. Saperi, satchel charges, gases. Honestly, I would bring them in the BTR-60PB. KPVT, PKT, speed. Obviously, it's not as good as a BTR-80. It's not as new as a BTR-80. But it's very good fire support to cover your sappers as they're coming across an open field. HMGs have been nerfed, so this no longer goes like, what was it, 1700 meters or something, or 1400 against helicopters, something like that. This has been toned down because it's just stupid before. Conquers UAS, and once again he brings them in the car instead of the BTR-60. So difference of opinion, but you know, he's better than me, so you should just do what he does, really. Artillery. So interestingly enough, he didn't fill this slot. I mean, he made the deck in a hurry while we were in the lobby, so maybe he just forgot to fill that. I mean, let's just put that in there. But yeah, it was empty. So burrito, bring the burrito. This is your town cracking device. No other deck in the game gets this or anything like this. It is hilarious. It's the only MLRS in the game right now that works, and it works very, very well. You'll see it in the game. Very supply hungry, but it should be because of what it does, and it's on a T-72 chassis, so it has 10 front armor, which should go up actually because the T-72 got buffed, right? I don't know. We'll see what happens. And then a card of howitzers are Katsias. No changes to MLRS yet, I believe. I'll have to check. I didn't see them in this game. Tank tab, so T-ATUD's the best tank in the game, I think. Also the most expensive. So it's good. I mean, it's a very good tank. It is slower than a T-ATU. These beat challengers. Generally, the T-80 line eats challengers for breakfast, or at least the T-ATU does. A challenger will not fire at max range against a T-ATUD. So that's something for you. The armor is so high. Oh dear, I've got a bug. No, I'm fixed. The armor is so high on a T-ATUD that the challenger will not engage it at maximum range. It'll say I can't deal any damage. Anyway, it's 350 points, right? So it's expensive, so it should be good. T-ATU regular, you get 3 per card as opposed to 2. You only get 1 card of T-ATU regulars. They are better because, you know, 50 points for 1 more front armor and 5 more accuracy is a raw deal. It's a raw deal. T-ATUs are better and way better in terms of cost efficiency. 50 points. Well, 45, my bad. 2 cards of T-ATU BVs. So upvetting does not affect the rate of fire because it's an auto-loaded tank. Because it's loaded by machine, more veterancy doesn't make the machine go faster. Which is fair enough. That's cool. Has that always been there? Anyway, it looks nice. So he brings them upvetted. Why, I do not know. I guess because he knows he's not going to need 12 of them, so he just brings 8, and it is a bit of a buff. It helps with the stress. You get less stress from being shot if you're upvetted. T-62s, so this is your infantry support tank. Cheap, obsolete tank. And then the TO-55. So I don't actually know if this has changed. It has HE rounds and AP rounds. Can't remember if this has changed or not. So it's still very cheap, but no machine guns. 7 front armor. This is amazing. You only get 6 though. Next tab, recon. So the Soviets get a exceptional optics recon plane. It's a bit more expensive, but exceptional optics is worth the price on these. Sorry, helicopter, not plane. Next, Razvedka Saperi have come down in price by 10 points. They used to be 70, now they're 60. And I think the motorized Razvedka was this price. It's interesting, so he brings these in BTR-60 PBs. These are obviously sort of engineer recon. And then he brings rocket launcher recon in the gas. because there's presumably because there's no maximum speed wheeled transport here apart from the gas, and recon's mainly for your opener, right? AA, Iglas, Card of Iglas, Card of Tunguskas, Card of Cubs upvetted, so we went from 4 to 2 for a 6% accuracy increase. Okay, I mean, so because it usually fires all three, right? In one volley against one plane. So 6% accuracy is actually 18% accuracy across 3 missiles. Osus, he brings these up vetted as well because are you going to need? When you look at how much AA is here, you can afford to upvet some things, right? So that's why he's upvetted these, because you're not going to be able to buy all of it in a 40-minute game, or at least you shouldn't. AA, the Mi-24V is good for the opener because 79Y does not get any forward deployed infantry. It gets combat recon, sure, in the form of the Razvedka, but it doesn't get any forward deployed stuff. So I've seen a lot of people open with 2 of these just to go and kill the enemy, and just buy time for your units to show up. So the AA missile is very good, perfect stabilizer, and it's got 4 of them, and it's got nice rockets, nice gun. I believe helicopter guns are better now. I mean, I'm pretty sure they are. We'll see in the game. MiG-31s, you only get 1 card of these now instead of 2. They are really strong because they outrange everything else in the game, so that's sensible, if you ask me. So obviously you bring these as interceptors. The MiG-27K seed plane, you use this to kill helicopters because of this this amazing gun. Very high ECM, 50% ECM, so it might survive. Seed has also been fixed, allegedly. I mean, it's a lot better now, because it used to miss all the time for no reason. Now it seems to actually hit 50% of the time. Card of SU rockets to kill infantry. The Jush has lost its AP rounds, so the gun doesn't kill tanks anymore, which is interesting. Apparently that's for historical reasons. They only loaded these things with HE rounds. Or it might be the other way around, I can't remember. Anyway, card of SUAT to kill people who disagree with you on the internet. Very, very good plane. Right, so now that that's out of the way, to deal with some of the changes that you're immediately seeing. Yes, the minimap is darker now. I think it's much better. And the unit icons have changed in their color. They are a darker blue now, which is good. I think it looks a lot better. And the red is a kind of darker looking red, I guess. Don't know how else to describe it really. So we'll do my deployment first, and then we'll do Karma's deployment. Right, so I'll start left to right. I have SAS, which are going to be heading over here. SAS, of course, have anti-tank and anti-air capability, so they're good for infiltration actions, and that is the plan that I have. So you have to tell them to go here and then go here, because if you tell them just to go here, they'll come down the middle of the map and die like idiots. So there you go. Next, I've got a Fox recon vehicle coming up, and I'm just going to run at him, which is maybe not the smartest idea. Bunch of Iltis Milans because of how cheap they are, so I've got 3 going on the left, 2 to secure this ground, and then 1's going to come back here and then try and get round the back. Iltis Milans, of course, very, very cheap for their price, so definitely worth bringing, particularly on these open maps. On the right, 3 SAS in front, going to secure this town at the start of the game. I have forward deployment, paratrooper forward deployment, and I know that my enemy doesn't, and these guys bring their own Stinger missiles, and the Saxon now has smoke. So this is now a very potent unit. It was already quite potent, but it's now even more potent. If you see something that's going to kill you, you smoke on the Saxon before you unload the SAS, and then you shoot them through the smoke. You pop through the smoke and shoot them with the Stinger missile. Behind that, I've got some air mobile scouts. Remember, no AT capability on these guys. So they're going back there. And I've got a fox. The fox is going all the way around on the right and then coming back here and then coming back here to kill transports. 2 gazelle rockets, 20 points each, just to kill people who disagree with me in these buildings here at the start of the game. And then this is a vast majority of my force, so we'll go front to back. I'm bringing one of the new radar anti-air units, and this is going here. I'm bringing a bunch of Warrior Milan infantry, so they'll get to the town. IFEs are a lot better against infantry in the open now. What's here? What's here? A couple more Iltis Milans, 3 more in fact. One is going to go, well, 2 are going to go up here so that they can get side shots on things. And the third one is... Ah, yes. The third one is going to go all the way up here, round the back, through here, down here, and then cover this road. Then I'm bringing an absolute metric ton of Terrier Pioneers with a mortar. So the mortar is to provide smoke cover for the Terrier Pioneers. I don't end up using this due to poor player skill, but it was a nice idea. Let's have a look at what Karma's doing. So he's got 2 Razvedka Saperi going into the town. One's coming here, which is idealistic. And the other one's coming here, and then he's sending the transport. Do you see he's disembarking and then he's sending the transport somewhere else? So that's very smart, because that's just making the most of your units, basically. He's got 1 Mi-24V AA to deal with pesky AA individuals. Recon helicopter so he can see what's coming. Then on this road he has the bulk of his force going to the town fight. This map's all about the town fight, so Cub, Osa, supply for the Cub and the Osa. Let's just select these. Yeah, so the Cub's going here, presumably, and the Osa's going here, and the supply is going to the Cub because it's only got 3 missiles, it runs out very quickly. Then we have Saperian trucks, Motostrelkian trucks. Let's just get rid of some of these guys so we can see where these people are going. And then 3 Motostrelkian BMP2s. IFE is very good now. So yeah, he's going in fast with his infantry. But I will get here first because of the forward deployment on the SAS. On the right, so I assumed that he would push hard on the right, which is my left, his right, the open field. So that's why I was defending it with so many Iltis Milans. I assumed that he would immediately give up the town because he knows that he's better in the open and just take the open point. So he's just got a holding force here as well. So Conkers and MG teams are just securing a defensive line here. And the Recon's going there as well, and he's got 1 TO-55 just in case I decide to rush, in which case he can just shoot flames all over my rushing force and kill them. So with that out of the way, let's get on with the game. Right, and they're off. Just keep in mind that this was played on the Alpha Strike Team build, so there might be a couple visual things missing, and the values are placeholder. I don't expect them to change too much, but they might do. So everything's going where we said they were going because we have future knowledge, and I will be casting the game like this. I know that some spectators like to cast from the side, but I'm more of a player, so I like to cast from my perspective so you can get into my head a little bit and see why I'm doing the things that I'm doing. Obviously the other guy's a lot better, so if you can get into his head, that would be more advantageous. Anyway, here come the Saxons. And immediately you see the power that I have at the start of the game, because these guys have igloos. They have stingers even. So they can shoot this, and they start further forwards than these guys. So I have a stronger opener, but 79Y has stronger late game. So the SAS start hitting the helicopters. 2 hits. That was lucky. And the Gazelle rockets just managed to snipe that Razvedka. The helicopter goes down. This one has to stay back, because if it comes forwards, then it gets hit by the SAS. And I'm feeling good. I send one of the Gazelle rockets back to resupply. The Fox has actually forced all of this to disembark early, so this actually worked, I guess. But it died anyway. But I guess it slowed these guys down. Iltis Milans are uncontested in the middle. I've got 1 coming up to here, 2 coming around to here to stop his mechanized push. Fox round on the right. Iltis is now doing work. I got 1. Smoke wasn't fast enough. TAT is obviously going to win this fight. This leaves range, I guess, forcing these guys to move forwards. This is getting quite lucky here. It should be dead. And he's smoking, so yeah, he'll survive, but I now have 10 million people in this town. Jaguar cluster I sent to kill the T-80. I get it, but I die to a MiG, and he gets more T-80s, BVs than I get Jaguar cluster, so that was not worth it. I should have been using that on heavy tanks or on more exposed targets. I don't get this either, this could. So, things are going well for me here. I forgot about these guys because I'm bad. Disembark these guys. Iltis Milans are all now dead, and nothing's happening over here. Except my SAS have embarked, and they'll be going to the back there. And the Iltis Milan, which I told to go across here, has decided not to. I apologise for the explosions in the background. I live in an active war zone, also known as Newcastle. So, the BMP-2 is now killing my SAS with remarkable speed. Which I think is good. My mortar I finally decided to start using. And the explosions are intensifying. The Warrior Milans over here are hitting this in the side, but I'm getting hit in the side by the BMP. Warrior Milans finally get this. BMP takes a hit, but the BMP has more front armor than the Warrior. You see, 4 versus 3, so I'm losing this fight. He also brought veterancy. He also has the high ground Anakin, but I get him eventually. The last Milan shot. Over here, I'm getting over here. It's a shame that the Iltis decided to drive down this road and get hit by machine guns. Would have been great if it got around the back here, so that's my fault. And my Fox got round the back. I saw this coming towards me from the recon, and the Iltis got round the back as well, so it's all going my way. I also see this guy. Right, so helicopter guns are apparently better, but I don't know if they just changed them back or something, because, you know, this guy didn't die immediately, so I don't think they're that good. Just let me know what you think. Or, you know, don't. But anyway, I'm starting to push him out here. And once again, I'd like to apologize for the explosions, if you can hear those. So, yeah, I kill the Cub, capture the supply. And I've just slowed down his reinforcements here. He's recognized that I'm weak here. And has started to move up his recon units. I'm reinforcing with more Iltis Milans. I bring in a Lynx Hellarm. And I'm also resupplying my Gazelles with this Chinook supply. So you should be using the Chinooks for backline supply. I'm now being cancerous growth on society over here by shooting this and capturing this. This has all been forced to slow down because there's something in this forest. So I start shooting him. And yeah, I stun him, I see this, I smoke up, and then I run away. See you later. I send this out. It's not going to get there, it's too slow. So this guy's taking damage, and if he stops, I'll stun him again, so I'm just running after him with the Fox, and I know that I am faster than what's chasing me. So I'm leaving. I get quite lucky with that volley. Oh, I think my luck might run out. Yeah, he died. I should have sent him manually through here, but I put a move order on. So I'm just continuing to try and get rid of this guy. So another volley from the gazelles, and then they come straight back to heal up. Resupply even. And this is where I'd like to point out that I am on the stronger side of the map. So if you're here, if you're on Team Blue right now, it's very hard for people to push you out of here. Once they do, there is a gap, and that is hard to get back in. If you're on this side, the best place to attack is here. But your reinforcements bring you here, and they automatically path you down this road where you can be shot and seen. So that's really difficult to get through. So you have to manually path things here and then bring them here if you want to avoid that. Nevertheless, Karma's got a pretty substantial push coming my way. The Warrior Milans are doing their best. I should have pulled them back, really, because they're in gun range of these tanks, and they shouldn't be. At least they don't have to be. I could have put them back here, and perhaps sniped without taking any damage. So there's no point in moving these guys up to here, right? Because they can't kill the tank anyway, given what's there. So I just leave them here. I've got the Lynx Hellarm at the back. Karma's push is supported by AA. So one Igla hit will kill those gazelles. It's four, but this is... Well, this is a Lynx, so this is 6, but the gazelles have 4 HP. So I've got the Hellarm in an extremely defensive position. And he can't use his tanks because of fear of toes. So this is another pathing issue for this guy. I'm moving this across here, probably not a good idea. Would have been better to move Recon across there. SAS has almost made it round the back. I was trying to take this building. I don't know if that'll work. I presume not. Because my machine guns don't work in the building. So I lose the advantage that I have as soon as I enter that building, which I'm running towards. And also there's some PKMs here. So, you know, really small brain play from me. Over here, I'm just using my mortar to just hit him with stuff. I hope I'm not firing smoke at him. No, I'm not. You know, if you've got a mortar, you might as well use it. That's something I'm learning to do. Just keep shooting it, right? Why not? It's free. You already paid for it. The Igla's here to cover this approach. Good move from Karma. So I bring the Hellarm up, and I'm pretty sure it just gets swatted now. Yep, but I don't notice. I do notice. Do I make it out? I make it out, despite my geriatric reaction speed. Karma's still doing well over here. Try to move Milan 2 up, which might not be the smartest idea. Oh no, I think I might make it. But this is where the main fight's happening here. And once Red loses this town, it's really hard for him to get back in. I try and kill a tank with a warrior, which is perhaps not the smartest thing in the world. But now I can get side shots here, but you see how he used the smoke to dodge the Milan and then went back and came back forwards. Another Gazelle volley, but I lose 1 and I lose 2 to this Igla. So, band pads, very good. And here it comes, the burrito. So you see why I call it the town cracker. So it's a lot of the buildings are gone, a lot of my men are gone, the rest are very wounded, everybody's very stressed out, everybody's having a bad day. And I keep sending these gazelles into the Igla, so I lost another one there. It's not very smart. Over here, if you're blue, you need to secure this, right? Because if you secure this, then this becomes untenable. So I should have had more up here, and just poking it out the side. And here you see what I was on about with the reinforcements. They can just get sniped by, right, you see, right, the ATGM, if it's here, can hit this road. So you want to attack here, but you need to cross the super fun road. And the Milans in these buildings can also hit the super fun road. So, yeah, the Javelin manually guided now, but still seems to be doing work. SAS have gotten in here round the back. Excel's sending them forwards, blowing stuff up, sending them back. He's run out of AA here now. I finally brought a Challenger. So the Challenger costs 290 points now instead of 300. And so it's really good, but it's the last thing you should be bringing in because you don't get enough and you need loads of AA. So I now have loads of AA, and so now I feel confident to bring in a challenger. PKM's in an open field. But enough has survived the burrito, right? Because I had loads of guys here, which kind of survived anyway. Healing up the challenger. I think I saw this at some point, and so now I know that he's got a guy lurking waiting to take me out. A CV came down this road and I killed it with the SAS. That's why there is now an AA helicopter over here to come and kill me. SAS doing work, and these guys will now die to the large number of people I have here. Because even though my men are stressed, they're in a building, and these machine guns aren't offensive units. I could do a better job of moving some of these guys back to avoid things. Yeah, so I knew this guy was coming for the challenger, so I shot a bit, smoked and backed. The Rapier FSA doing its work. SAS over here against this. I'm now +5. So the SAS miss, I think, which, you know, it does happen. Oh, well, something's going on here. I guess they hit one. Missed one. Could probably guess what's going to happen next. But yeah, I got one of the CVs, and as you saw in his deck at the start, he has 6 CVs. Obviously, I didn't know that going in, but a kill's a kill. I got something. It was worth it. It was also worth it on a point value as well, 100 points versus 90 points, due to the SAS 10-point buff. This guy kills a few more of my men. I'm now conscious of the fact that there's less here, so I thought that he would push across here, and so that's why there's now more here, or a little bit more here. And he's realised now that I don't really have any AA on this side of the map. I also brought in a howitzer to press my advantage. Remember to always target a position and then move. Like target a move order, queue a move order. And he's just wrecking my face here now, because I don't have any AA. So there's AA coming, presumably, yes. Remember your ASF as second is bad. Saxons get smoke, the smoke saves the Saxon's life, and then I drive out of it. So yeah, he's fired and now he's moved, and you don't need to double these up because of the 6 salvo length. Unless you want to really burst something down like a CV, in which case you want to double it up. Saxon gets hit by the Conkers, he's now attacking. Here comes the not particularly good Phantom with the turning circle of a brick. And I get really lucky. Really, really, really lucky. Although I guess, yeah, there's no AA here anymore because I killed the Cub and the Osa must have died here as well, so it was all skill, baby. Anyway, I lose this. And he's now running at me with machine guns, and I'm desperately trying to reinforce because I've realised that he's going to hit the other flank because that's what good players do. So I bring the Rapier to try and deal with this air enthusiasm. I bring some AA, which gets killed by the A. But the Javelin gets a helicopter, and you see they miss a lot less now. They're a lot better now. So this guy's been spotted. These guys in the buildings have good stealth, as opposed to regular infantry, which have like normal stealth or something. So, actually, let's check. Oh no, they have good stealth as well. Never mind. So I'm losing this. Over here, I've stabilized this, but he's still got a foothold here, which is bad. I really should have pursued that. Too many of my units are idle. Like, I've got lots here, but it's not doing anything. You don't have to push, but I should at least secure my vectors and send somebody around the side. Over here, I'm panicking. Iltis Milan to stop armored pushes, so it will not one-shot T55. It will two-shot it, I believe. But this one should miss because the last one hit. 50% accuracy. I think it just goes out of range. I'll bring in some Gazelle rockets to kill these guys. But I think I lost scout visual, so this guy's going to come over here now to provide visual for that. And I'm pretty locked down here. Things are going my way. I'm +2. 16 minutes into the game, 1100 points. I sent this Bedford forwards to spot, but it obviously doesn't, because it has bad optics. Old meta. This guy's still chilling out on 1 HP. Right, so I send the Saxon straight in. The Gazelle gives vision, and then I changed my mind with the Saxon. So I don't know this is here. I don't think I can see this. Oh, well, I probably can now. So regardless, I still drive into it. These are now out. If only that, you know, I'd been a bit more proactive there. I'm hitting where I think his CV is going to be with the howitzer. But because of the Gazelle, I actually see it move here, so I start queuing this up as well. Jaguar cluster, I'm going for the burrito because it's a big problem for me. I miss, very sad, but I lost visual, so that's reasonable. I pulled up the Challenger. The MiG-31 is not going to hit, so my Jaguar now is going to resupply in 100 seconds, which is fantastic news. And Karma's coming here, and I know he's going to come for this because there's, you know, because of how locked down this is, that it is the logical move for him to attack here. So, yep, I'm reinforcing to the best of my ability, but just because of the way the map works, there's not really many places to go here. So everybody's kind of blobbed up. Oh, it's rounds for the CV because I saw him moving to there. I'm about to lose another expensive helicopter. Yeah, so real small brain plays from me here, like I'm just not paying attention. Not sure what I'm looking at. Over here I'm trying to push him out, finally. Another pair of rooks for Karma, but this time I'm ready. So he kills a rapier. He kills a recon helicopter. But on his way out, one of them flies into rapier on this side, so I at least get something out of it. Mr. Javelin's now 3 vet from that kill. And the rapier's 3 vet, so I'm not sure who got that kill. And here comes the big push. So I am woefully unprepared for this. I wish, you know, my kingdom for a medium tank, but I didn't bring the 75 pointers. I only brought the 300 pointers, and I do not have 300 points. I need to buy loads of Milans. Lose another Gazelle to Wigglers. And now I run this one back. And I survive, which I did not expect at all. My AA is too far back to deal with this. And here comes the burrito. And I lose this small corner of England. Finally got enough points for the Challenger though, not a moment too late, now that all the supporting units have died. Over here I'm just pushing him out. Nothing's happening over here anymore. At least for them, for now. But I've very truly been pushed out of here, and I'm worried that he's going to go further. I'm just swinging howitzer shells wherever I can, but these are too far back. He advanced faster than I anticipated. I've got these buildings, so I should be able to hang on for a bit, but I cannot contest this, and here comes an Su-25. Jaguar cluster to kill the T-80. This was the one that got out last time. So 2 MiGs now, my luck finally runs out. This is out of ammo, mistake. Okay. And yeah, this thing is obviously terrible, but it's the best that money can buy. And eventually it gets it. So it fired 6 missiles there, so that's good that it gets it. He's trying to micro the SU to hit me with his gun. And it works. Phantom F3 does not have a gun. I moved some guys out of here over to here. I should have moved more, really. Like, you know, I'm too static in my play. For example, the Challenger that is here. Is it still here? Yeah. Like, what? I could have moved that back, you know, over here. I could have moved it forwards and probed a bit and done some shooty. Maybe not forwards, it would get sniped by the SU. But certainly the Warriors, it's good to move those. Got another Phantom. I fire a couple of missiles and then I evac because I miss. He evacs as well. If he didn't, he could have killed me with the gun, but he evac'd. And I'm out. I'm out here. So I'm bringing the Challenger to reinforce. And now I'm conscious that he can just take this and cut my resupply while he's shooting it. So I'm now aiming at my own right front line because I assume he's here. But he's not. He spreads out, which is smart. Over here I am pushing a bit because I'm like, well, look, I should do something. I'm just sat on my ass watching myself lose. So I send a Saxon and 1 infantry. But all of my points and focus are here now to reinforce this in case he pushes through, because I've got nothing. If he knew that and if he'd just gone in, he would have wiped me here. Like, I have 1 Challenger, that's it. Howitzer's now hitting the Burrito, but it's a T-72. For some reason the CV's here. And so this is when I realised that I couldn't actually shoot the T-80 at max range. By the way, Karma's doing something here called tricking. So you fire the tank gun, and then you immediately turn it off, and it will immediately fire the ATGM. And then once the ATGM's hit, you turn the tank gun back on. I'm bringing a Harriet, but he's gone way too deep with this. Like, this is really greedy. So even though my ASFs are bad, you know, they do exist. And I think I polished this guy off. Okay, well, not with the ASFs because they're awful, but he flies over my AA, and I finally get him with something. But I evac these a bit too late, so that's not advantageous to my position. That eats 2 Igla shots and survives. And now I'm trying to just keep this Challenger alive. Burrito again to clear me out. But I don't really have a whole lot here. But the maximum stress on the Challenger, lowest possible cohesion, makes the accuracy terrible. Makes it absolutely terrible. So now I'm just a missing enthusiast. Bring up some helicopters to just stem the push, but he's brought Iglas. He knows my deck. Lots of low HP helicopters. So this gets stunned by you know, air mobile scouts with 4 MGs. So that's why I don't think the helicopters are bad. I don't think they're too OP. So he's shooting now, but he's low cohesion. Oh, mediocre cohesion, high stress. I bring up the Saxon behind the building so the tank doesn't kill him, just to keep shooting this guy. So you see, it's not really killing me. It's not really doing anything. I get pushed out here with my extremely half-hearted push, but I do force him to at least reinforce with something. So that has reduced a bit of pressure here, I suppose. But it's not good enough, really. Jaguar cluster for the T-80UD. I get him. 1 Igla misses, which makes sense. The Tunguska gets some really good hits off, but does not kill me because it's just slightly too far away. If this was here, I'd be dead. Oh yeah, you can all... Yeast, what? You can also select planes when they're evacing now. I'm reinforcing. So Terrier AT group, probably not the best solution here, but I only had cash for that. Over here I sent the SAS forwards to, you know, kill this. But I think I just kind of forgot about it, and then it walks up here and dies, which wasn't very intelligent. Lots of reinforcements coming for Karma. I'm in my own backyard, so I bring the Harrier. I focused this when I was... That was wrong, I should have focused this. Because, you know, this is the thing that's killing me. But taking out his eyes is important. So you see, this thing has been firing for about 10 years. It's fired all its ammo. It's not really killed anything, so I don't think it's OP. I think it's fine. So yeah, I send a worry in my land forwards in my infinite wisdom. Like, this is like the worst push ever. I could have really put something together here and just cracked this open. But I can't micro 2 fronts at once, basically. I'm keeping the Challenger alive, though. Tunguska's come into here now, which makes it very scary, and he's now got Iglas over here, which means that I can't use my heli spam, so I lose another Gazelle rocket. And I'm starting to lose these Lynxes as well. But my sort of bad play begins to help me, because now he's pushing me here, but I actually already have everything here, because I just never bothered to move it. He loses his recon helicopter to the Rapier FSA, which I then put in the vehicle and move back. And, you know, Lynx is still doing their jobs. I don't know why I moved this back. I should have just left it there and then hit these, which I'm doing with this Milan here. So he's not getting in here, but I've lost my side of the map. And now I'm just playing for time. 40-minute game, playing for time. His decision to keep these SU circling is good, because he knows my ASFs are crap, and I'm not just going to pop out of nowhere and kill him. And so by doing this, he's ready to hit my tanks as soon as they show up. I'm doing my best to move these, but, you know, geriatric reactions, so this one dies. Could have saved it if I was faster. But this Igla here is very scary. Rapier FSA doing God's work. This warrior now lives amongst the wolves and can get good Milan shots off on TATU tanks, which are going past it. Or I can just die, or whatever. SU flies a bit too close to the sun, starts taking hits from all these javelins I've got around here. I remembered I have mortars, and I just started shooting them everywhere. Why not? Maybe I'll hit something. But he's ran into the problem that I am not moving my units, so his push on my exposed flank has been stopped by my laziness. Because the Satrian army here to greet him. Regardless, this is looking extremely dicey for me. The SU claims another victim. It's flying over a lot of javelins here. But he's using them in twos to soak for each other. This should be resupplied. These javelins aren't really enough. Yeah, so they're all missing. Not enough stuff. This is depleted. So this is looking somewhat dire now, because if he gets to here, then I can't reinforce, and then I've lost. Sending a Jaguar cluster to sniper TATBV, which is exposed, so I hit that. And then I used the Harrier on the infantry, but I think it died. But he lost an SU, so that's good. I'm microing the Challenger, trying to get as much value out of it as possible as the red wave advances on me. Trying to desperately keep this route open, because if I lose this, I can't get back in here, right? Moving the CV around as well. Burrito again. And you just see the power of the Burrito. So he only fires a half volley. Because he knows that it lands on the left side of the targeting circle, so that's enough, right? And then he saved ammo to hit this, so I lose these buildings. These guys are all really stressed, cohesion low, really stressed out, really stunned, so that makes them useless, or at least less useful. I am losing another Lynx Hell Arm here. His AA isn't in position, it should be up here. So I'm bringing in Lynx Hell Arms to just snipe these armoured units in the open. Take out the Igla, bringing up Challengers. Rest of the Burrito volley to finish off the guys in the town. Really good play with this Burrito this game. And now I'm just playing for time. 40-minute game, playing for time. Bring up the challenges, start hitting him. I think I've ran out of warriors at this point. I was too frivolous with them. Lots of red. Still got some guys over here. Just moving up the Helms a bit more. Perhaps a bit risky. Got some scouts in here so I can actually see all this. HE again, not using these, big mistake, should be using these. Not pushing this enough. Right, there's not a whole lot here. I could have used the recon to move the challenger up and kill stuff, which is what I'm doing. Harrier coming for the big blob of infantry, but I lost visual and I didn't reorientate in time, so you know, now it's repairing for a long time, Harrier. The Lynx Helms are doing really good work, and the challenger I've managed to keep alive. Like, I'm getting value out of this even if I'm not really microing anything else. Kill an empty supply truck, what a player. And I start eating conkers for breakfast. Terrier's now in a bad spot, not got enough infantry. This guy goes forwards and gets hit by the motor strelky. Jaguar cluster went for... who knows. Waste. So yeah, motor strelky get really, really good. Okay, well they get good rocket launchers. I lose this challenger. I think it got hit by the T-80 or something. This one's still up. Pulling it back to repair. Oh, I still got some warriors, and I figure, well, he's over here, so I'll attack this. But he knows that that is what I would do, so he's reinforcing that. Playing for time. I've lost the town. Jaguar cluster coming for the T-80BV. Mistake, he moves, so he survives. I survive though, which is nice. SUAT coming for the Challenger, but I didn't have any radar AA up or anything up, so I didn't actually see this until it hit me, and then it was too late to do anything. So that was a waste. Don't worry guys, I brought 3 javelins. I then shit 3 Phantom F3s out at him, out of rage and spite. I evac them. I get very lucky with this. Well, one hit is normal. 40, 80, 120. Ammo explosion on this guy, that's not good, smoking back. His tanks beat my tanks, let's put it that way. But I get a lucky side shot off on him. The last of the warriors are coming in, just trying to re-secure this. I want it to be backed up by the tanks, but they're in disadvantageous conditions, so just advancing on our own now. Trying to run away with this guy. Trying to move up here. Air Mobile Scout spotted this CV, so I think I put some howitzer shells on it. CV here dies. Trying to get back in. Five minutes to go. So I see this Hyperi, and I've got no answer to this, but I've got some warriors coming here. When I said earlier that I'd run out, I was very wrong. Obviously I ran out a lot later than I thought I did. This is not obviously the best thing to do. I should have gone here first, instead of just running across this open field where he can do this to me. I am getting him down with the Milans though. He doesn't have IFVs, so my infantry aren't getting minced. If he had a BMP2 here, these guys would have a bad time. Missed that one, it's very sad. So low, come on guys. What's he doing? Alright, a good day for England, and therefore the world. SU-25AT plane come for the low health Challenger, and that dies, so maybe not such a good day after all. I send out the Phantoms, remember one's repairing because it took 9 damage. He's only got 1 MiG-31 though left because he dived. So 4 missiles won't kill me. Especially when he target swaps like that. Do I hit him on my way out? Oh, I do. So he's now repairing for a bit. But I'm repairing for a lot. This guy's having a very good day. Should buy a lottery ticket. So Karma's got 3.5 minutes to catch up. And I'm just trying to make something happen here, so I think this can hit this, so I'm trying to move the Challenger over, but it's not. I'm not doing a good job. Even more of these Milans that I apparently ran out of. And now I bring in the Lynx. So we were talking about Lynxes and helicopter infantry, are they useful? So at this point I know that he's a bit thin on the ground, so I'm going to start sending this guy back here and being annoying. These warriors are trying to take on this T-80. The T-80's not having any of it. This was kind of dumb from me, to be honest. He's just popping them one at a time. And I just keep missing. And then he pulls it. Alright, so you see how well he's playing here, right? So he knows the challenge is coming. He must have seen it with this, so he moves this. I'm trying to hit the burrito, but what's the point? Just moves. Air mobile's about to cause havoc and chaos, etc. I bring in a CV. He didn't have one for here, because he was trying to secure the zone. So now we're stabilized with 2 minutes to go. By the way, units gain veterancy when they shoot as well. So you see this guy's got an MG on the side. I'm pushing over here, but this is more interesting. So he moved it, and I think he just sort of forgot about it. Or maybe he just gave up. Oh no, he sees me. I land 360 quickscope, and then I get back in the helicopter. So I'm now +3. Once again, I'm trying to dual tanks with warriors, which is just really not what you should be doing. I'm hitting the burrito. I lose a warrior. It's really dumb play from me. I'm stunning it, but it's not really working because it's a T-72, so, you know. Right, so with the Lynx, I'm now clearing out of there because I know he's reinforcing it. At least that's what I'd do. So now I'm going over here to snipe this one. And he's trying to dodge me. I send another one this way, which wasn't the smartest thing because obviously you're flying through the dense front line and you just get one banged by a Tunguska. They land, and then they attempt to surrender, but no one's listening. I'm now being a perfectly normal player over here. Bringing in the Mi-24V, but I'm just driving around him. I get stunned though. It makes things a bit more difficult. So yeah, the helicopter guns don't really seem so bad. Like they just seem normal. I'm not really sure what's changed. Once again, the air mobiles attempt surrender. But people are having a bad day. Such as this Challenger in this open field without recon. Now, it is at this point, I think it is about this point, where I type into the chat, wait a minute, you put it on infinite time? Because, as you can see, it's been 40 minutes. I've ran out of everything. Yeah, this game's still going, so this was a 40-minute game, I would have won, but it is not a 40-minute game. Jaguar cluster for the T-80 again. Gets out okay. His MiG's still repairing, I think. With the T-80s, you can dodge a cluster if you drive to the side or forwards immediately, but if you don't see it, then until it's like too late, then you've had it basically. Can't really do that with a Challenger because the T-80 is quite fast, so 68 compared to 54. So yeah, I eat that and die. I think the Conkers must have been a side shot or something. I don't know. Yeah, because when it's a front shot, it does 1 damage, so it must have hit me in the side because I was turning to face this, and then he hit me with that, so that's a good play. These guys are now exposed. And, yeah. What more is there to say? We're past time, bro. Stop the vote. Stop the count. Stop the count. But what can you do? So at this point, I'm pretty sure I GG. We're just talking in chat about something right now, I reckon, but there's no chat replay. Stop the count, but it's on an infinite time game, and obviously I've had it, so GG, well played, and I believe I surrender in a couple seconds. So yeah, you know, and I would have won. Come on, guys, it counts, right? Kills losses, the same. Obviously, I was losing at the end. And you see at the start, the SAS really cleaned house. Well, this isn't chronological, but you got to get your values worth out of your SAS. Like, and these guys all did. So what's the moral of the story? Well, the moral of the story is that second is actually alright now. I don't know if it's going to be S tier or top tier or pro tier, but Karma's obviously a very good player. And, you know, I did alright. I mean, this obviously didn't go very well, but what can you do, eh? The burrito obviously didn't get too many direct kills, but its impact on the game was massive. This was the reason that he managed to push back ground, because he was hitting me with the burrito. If he didn't have that, he would have just had to run at me with tanks. But this allows him to suppress an area, reduce the effectiveness of units in that area for a while because of the stress damage that it causes, destroy all the buildings, stuff like that, and obviously damage too. Yeah, so yeah, at the start, SAS. So yeah, 79Y, weak early, strong late. Second is a bit of everything right now. Jack of all trades, master of none. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this preview of the new patch. Have a nice day.